Welcome to the Spirit of Business podcast. My name is Jamie Pritchard, your host with mortgageguys.com. And today we are going to be talking to Elvira Hopper. Elvira helps all kinds of kind-hearted, beautiful souls get out of their own effing way, and these are her words, not mine, to create an authentic life of their dreams. And one of the core programs that she has is the Love Your Vibe. We're going to talk about, today we're going to talk a little bit about heart and soul set. And many of you may have heard of mindset. Elvira has a key set of gifts that helps people transform their lives. So welcome, Elvira. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much, Jamie. It's a pleasure to be here. And just for the record, it's Elvira Hopper, not Hooper. Hooper is a more common name, okay. But my name is Hopper. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, Hopper.
No, it's okay. It's all
like
good.
Dennis,
it's all good.
the Easy Rider guy.
Yes, that's right. The weirdo. Yeah, you just associate me with the weirdo. Yeah, it's good. Yeah. Oh, it's lovely to be here.
Okay.
Whatever works, right?
Elvira, one of the things when we talked beforehand, the one thing that really impressed me is you have, for all intents and purposes, been very successful in your career and your life, but you had a dramatic change about 10 years ago. Can you just give us a little bit of background into what you were doing and what happened?
Yeah, so Jamie, that's a great question. That was really what happened 10 years ago was when I left my I call it my successful looking first act, and I dropped into my through a blessed breakdown, which I'll tell you about as well. I exited that life and entered my I call it authentic second act. So this is what I help people to do as well, right? So the first half of my life was all about looking good on the outside, the shiny exterior, I had two careers that were very, well considered careers, like my parents wanted me to be a doctor, and I didn't have the marks to be a doctor. So I ended up becoming a lab technologist. I worked at Princess Margaret Hospital in cancer research. And then I wanted to slit my wrists after 7 years of doing that. It's not who I truly was. I felt like an imposter every.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm sure many people can identify. I certainly myself found myself. I was maybe a little bit more patient and lasted about 25 to 30 years in my career before I kind of made the leap into something different. So Elvira, you were in the pharmaceutical industry for 27 years, and for all intents and purposes, you were very successful, but you were not satisfied. What was the breaking point for you?
Yeah. So Jamie, I chose both of my careers. I was a healthcare professional in two very lucrative careers, very well-respected careers. First, I was lab technologist at Princess Margaret Hospital, 7 years of doing that. And at the end of 7 years, I wanted to slit my wrists. I felt so down and depressed, and I was being bullied by my boss, by my coworkers. I had depression, anxiety, panic disorder. And see, this is what happens. This is a result of living out of alignment that I've noticed. Right. For myself, other people, it manifests in different ways. For me, it was mental health, being bullied. Those were two very, very common things. Same for my father. He lived out of alignment too. Both of us were artists. He never did anything with his art, and he didn't want me to do anything with mine because he wanted me to have a good job. So that's what he encouraged me to do. It's a longer story. I was a little girl, 11 years old, watching a jazz show, and I wanted to be one of these women up on stage, and he told me I couldn't because those women were sluts. And so I I was shut down and I became the people pleaser, and I chose a career to make them happy. But what happens when you live out of alignment is that you give up a piece of your soul, a piece of your heart and soul. Interestingly enough, I became a professional jazz singer at 51. My jazz band's name is Heart and Soul. So anyways, that's just what happened later. But as I was going through my life, it was always to please my parents. I was the good little Italian girl, the good little Catholic girl. I had to do what I was told. So I'm sure a lot of your viewers and listeners can relate to wanting to please their parents, wanting to look good to the world. And the ego is strong, right? So that's what happens when we live from our ego. And people have the manifestation of living out of alignment in different ways. For some people, it's mental health. For other people, they're bullied. I had both. Other people, believe it or not, I've heard cancer can happen. I've heard other people with heart disease. I've heard other people with marriages breaking up. Mine was pretty close to that too, because when I lived out of alignment, it was a crap show. But anyway, the point is that I am here to say that we can cross over to our, I call it aligned and authentic and fully self-expressed second act. That is where I live now. And that is where I want my clients to live, because that's what they hire me to do. They know there's more in them, and they just want to be able to have me work with them to draw it out. And then a lot of them actually create a new life from it. They will either create a business from it. They will love what they're doing in their job because they're connected to something bigger they're supposed to be doing. Like none of us is brought here by accident, Jamie, right? Like we are not like these meat suits, going through life and then we die. We're actually spirits. I know I love what you do because we talk about, your spirit is in this meat suit in this lifetime for a specific purpose. And it is our purpose to connect with our purpose. This is what Oprah says. I love her quote. She says, our purpose is to connect with our purpose and to humbly serve the world with it, which gives me chills every time I say it. Yeah. Do you agree?
I do. So what was the transition though? So for you, I get all of the work that you do and your presence and what you do. And I know of people that have gone through your program and speak very highly of it. But what was it for you? I mean, the biggest thing I find is that transition from an inauthentic life to an authentic life isn't a straight line. How was it for you? So could you describe that?
Yeah,
Your
great question. Yeah, my transformation was basically living out of alignment for so long, always having the little clues. Like, for example, we'd go to national sales meetings with my pharmaceutical company. So I was this, pharmaceutical award-winning rep. I kept getting promoted. I felt like an imposter every single day of that 20-year career. And I would go to these meetings. The best thing about the meetings for me was I remember once being asked to sing on stage and promote a new product. And whenever I'd get to karaoke at night with my colleagues, because that's who I was. I was an artist. I was a performer, right? And now I've become an artistic healer. I actually heal with my voice and I work on world-class jazz stages. But back then, those were the clues into who I truly was. As a little girl, I loved singing. I loved making jewelry. I loved to create because I'm an artist. I'm a creator, right? So those are the little clues into my true authentic self that I didn't listen to, because guess what, Jamie? I was making six figures as this rock star pharmaceutical rep. How could I possibly leave to do anything else, right? They had me by golden handcuffs, right? So the breakdown had to happen at the end. The last 2 years, my life was hell. I went for the boss's job. He was the guy that hired me at the highest salary in the company. He was my mentor. He was my hero. And I was his like rock star, shining rep that he brought in from another company. And he got let go. And it was like, oh my God. I went for his job. I competed with a male colleague and it got ugly politically. And he and I were really good friends, this guy and I, but because it was such a, politically charged environment, he just decided to go for broke. He decided to ruin my reputation in that company so that I would not get the job. And so that he would get the job, because it was between him and I. Well, guess what? The irony is they never replaced for that job. We lost our friendship, and I went into a 2-year period of being bullied corporately. And then because I had a kick me sign on my back, Jamie, because that's what happens when we're bullied, we actually have a vibrational kick me sign on our back. I started being bullied in a social area of my life. So I used to be an Argo cheerleader back in the 80s.
Right.
Go Argos. And the mean girl within this group decided that I did not belong anymore because she was a bully. That's how she got along in life. She picked up my victim vibration and she started bullying me. So now I'm in a dark place for 2 years being bullied in 2 different areas of my life. Well, when I hit my rock bottom, Jamie, I said to my higher power, give me a way out of this hell that's not drugs, that's not therapy, or give me a way of killing myself. Because I had reached so low, depression, anxiety, and panic. The only thing that got me out of bed was I had a little boy to feed every day. That's what got me out of bed. So when I reached that low, I basically said, give me a way out. Well, guess what? I got a way out because I wasn't meant to die. I was meant to find a way out. And now I get to share that system with the world through beautiful leaders that are using it to help their people as well. But what hit me is that.
What was the way out for you?
Yes.
Was it a
yes? So the way out was
wake up one day, or was it a bit of a process? Go ahead.
I asked. It was a miracle. That's why I call myself a miracle mindset coach. It was a miracle. I said, give me a way. I looked up to the sky and I said, give me a way out of this hell. That's not drugs. That's not therapy. Or give me a way of killing myself. So I got the way, and right away, these ideas started coming through me. I don't believe I made up this system. I believe I was the channel for it. And one of the first things that came to me, Jamie, was I realized, I call it my IBTT moment. Okay. And this is what I encourage everybody that's listening, that's watching, to think about. Have they reached their IBTT moment? You know what that stands for? IBTT?
Nope. Tell me.
I'm better than this. I'm better than this.
I'm better than this. Okay.
And I'm better than this. That was my rock bottom. And then I realized I'm better than this. You can't do this job anymore. What is it you really, really want to do? And 2 years before, I saw a dear friend leave the pharmaceutical industry to become a life coach. And I said, oh my God, she is so happy. She is so grounded. One day I'm going to do what she does. Well, guess what? I manifested that. I manifested that 2 years of darkness because that was the only way I was going to leave a 6-figure income. So I call it my blessed breakdown. And I realized if I'm being bullied here and I'm being bullied here, Jamie, who's the common denominator? Me. And when I realized that, that's when I started spiraling upwards. And that's when I was divinely gifted with more of my teachings. And now I share them online, and they're for the whole world now. And it's become the foundation of the Love Your Vibe transformation, which is a unique personal development solution that I use every single day. It keeps me out of the dark. It's my medicine. So I don't have to actually take drugs, because God bless anybody that takes drugs for their mental health. I knew it wasn't going to be that for me, because I was a drug rep and I knew what they did to our body. My father had to go on meds because he was living out of alignment. He had a nervous breakdown in his 50s when he was being bullied at work, and that he had to go on meds. And I knew my story was not going to end like his, Jamie. So that's what allowed me to ask for something that was holistic, that wasn't drugs. And therapy, I'd gone through 2 years of therapy when I was a new mom, and I didn't want to wait that long for another transformation. So I knew I wanted something that worked fast, and I got it. And now I share it with the world. So that's why I was meant to go through it. So yeah.
What are some great
resources? Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did.
Yeah. Okay.
What are some great resources that that have helped you along the way?
Well, other than the Love Your Vibe transformation, it was divinely gifted to me, and I use the tools and teachings every single day. Transformational teachings and tools. I teach them. I use them. And part of that is just some elements I'm going to randomly throw out. Actually, there's a free one that I teach online for free. So if anybody wants to go to the website, my website, elvirahopper.com, they can actually download one of my teachings for free. So Jamie, you're frozen right now. I can't see you.
Oh.
You're not moving.
Am I moving now?
Okay, there you are. You're back. Okay. So yeah, Jamie, you asked about what helps me. I actually teach it free online. So I don't know if you heard that part, but people can go to elvirahopper.com and they can download one of my teachings for free. It's called the 4 Circles of Personal Power. It's a powerful tool, and it created miracles in my life and in many of my clients' lives. So that's one of the tools. But I've read a lot of books that have really helped me to stay as my high vibration, aligned and authentic, fully self-expressed self. And there's some really good ones that I read at the beginning, but there's one that I want to recommend right now because I just finished it. And I got to tell you, especially if you're a woman, it is something that really, well, I could see it helping a lot of women. Excuse me. I could see it helping a lot of women. It's called Untamed by Glennon Doyle. It is a powerful book. I just want to give her a shout out. This is a woman that lived very inauthentically for so many years, but she was a cheetah, and that's part of the book. So you have to read it to find out more. But she got to really connect to who she truly was, and such an inspiration. And it's funny, one of my clients said, Elvira, you could have written that book. And I laugh because I'm like, yeah, I kind of could have written that book, but it tells her story, and I love her story. And anyways, it's just a really great book that speaks to the importance of getting aligned and authentic and fully self-expressed. Because I really believe, Jamie, that when we are aligned and authentic and fully self-expressed, every area of our life gets better. You know, so people that work with me, they are they tend to be, you know, kind, heart-centered, creative people, artists in some way, and yet they are, they're not living authentically in the sense that they have a gift in them that they're not using. So I encourage them to get out of their own effing way, and effing stands for what you think it stands for, but it also stands for fear and ego, because that's what keeps us all small and stuck. When we get out of our own effing way and we become aligned and authentic and we live as our higher self, that's when the magic and miracles happen. And every area of our life gets better when we have the courage to do that thing. One of my favorite clients, she had the courage to step on stage with me at the Jazz Bistro, which is a world-class jazz stage where I recorded my first album. And when she came off that stage, Jamie, she was a different person. And she left behind an unhappy marriage. She started a new business. She has her own internet show. This is a woman that was always an artist, but never really claimed it. She never owned it. I got her to embody it at the highest vibration, and she was a goddess on my stage. And I invited her to sing without even having heard her sing. But Spirit told me, you need to bring her on stage with you. And that's what I do when I coach. I just basically listen to Spirit. And another one of my favorite sayings is, I do nothing, Spirit does everything, and miracles happen, because I'm totally Spirit guided. So yeah. So does that answer your question? I'm going to take some water.
No, so what, can you tell me 3 people that have influenced you in your life and made you who you are?
Wow. That's awesome. Okay, so my dad, I'm going to start to cry. I hope I don't actually. Today's his 87th birthday, but he's in heaven right now. So it's actually his birthday. He, by keeping me safe and small, he showed me that it's never too late to cross over to become your authentic self. So I'm actually grateful to him. So he's one of the first, So he's one of the first people.
Because I want to point out something, because for a lot of us, sometimes we may feel some anger at the fact that our parents kept us small. But do you feel the same that I do, that in some ways they're there because we have a lesson to learn from that?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I was meant to be the poster child for, it's never too late to live the life of your dreams. Don't go live your parents' dreams or society's dreams. Live your dreams. Because that's what I was able to do. At 51, becoming a professional jazz singer, and I performed with Juno Award-winning artists, Jamie. Like, you know, honestly, I'm so blessed, and it's all serving with my voice. It's not about me and my ego. That was the transformation. Because when I got to live as my authentic self, I realized it's not me doing this. It's me being led and guided for a bigger reason. And so when we're able to get out of our own effing way, fear and ego, we do our thing fiercely yet humbly. Honestly, miracles happen. And that's what I was able to do. Yeah.
And so your dad helped you on that journey. Who else?
Who else? Oprah Winfrey is one of my biggest heroes. And she's actually someone that there's some bigger plans in the making right now that my husband and I are co-creating a series of retreat centers, and she's involved. And I can't say too much at this point, but let me just say that she's inspired me greatly. I've already connected to her man twice. I've sung jazz to him. He thinks I'm fabulous. I've heard him speak in Chicago. So there's something in the works there, and I can share more at another point. And, you know, who else has influenced me? You know what? I guess I have to be grateful to my beautiful husband, who's upstairs right now on his computer doing his work, because I couldn't do it without him. He is my rock, and I believe that everybody needs a rock in their life. And we turned our marriage around. You know, it was over nearly 3 times because of my ego. And we were able to turn it around because I got aligned and authentic. He did his own spiritual mentoring as well. And together we are 2 souls, hearts and souls, living our miracle marriage. I use the term hashtag our miracle marriage because it really is a miracle. We just hit 31 years and we are happier than ever before.
That's fantastic.
But for many years, thank you. But for many years, Jamie, it was a poop show, let me tell you, because I lived out of alignment. So my ego ran the show and it triggered his ego, and we were like 2 egos butting heads. Now we're 2 souls totally connected. So that he's my hero too.
What one thing would you give your advice to your younger self, maybe 10 years ago, before you began this career in coaching?
Wow. That's a great question. You asked some really good questions, Jamie. So I would tell myself, relax. It all turns out better than you can ever imagine.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to start to cry. That's so beautiful. Never been asked that before.
What's one myth about your profession that you'd like to debunk?
Yeah, okay. Right away, this hit me. Coaching is not about giving people advice. Coaching is about bringing out what's already in people that they just don't connect to because that's not the vibration they're living in. I help people get into that vibration where they are their authentic self, and then I ask them questions. They have every answer inside of them. I cannot give them their answers. I can share insights that spirit shares with me, but I can't give them their answers. And everybody has everything they need right now. They just need to get out of their own effing way. Yeah.
You know, as you were talking, the image that came to me years ago, I saw a picture of, there was a little cat and in the mirror was a lion. And it was just, the phrase was, you know, follow your biggest dreams or something to that effect. And that's almost what I was thinking. That's kind of what you're doing. You're saying to somebody, this is how you see yourself, but this is what I. So you're holding you're holding a bigger space for your clients, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. I hold up a mirror and they get to see themselves the way I see them, because that's what the coaching I do is about. Yeah. It's called pure coaching. So I'm blessed that I was trained at one of the best schools on the planet. But there's a lot of coaches out there that are giving advice, and I'm not sure where they were trained, you know, God bless them. Yeah. But I just know that coaching is a very sacred art. It's an art and a science, you know. When we help people to get out of their own way and they start thinking differently, their brain actually transforms. And, you know, they can go from being negative to being positive. And these are studies that back it up. Scientific studies show that, neuroplasticity studies show that we can rewire our brain. And I help people to rewire their brains. And it's so amazing. I just love the results. It's so beautiful.
It's fantastic. Your energy is so great. Last question. What does the spirit of business mean to you?
Oh, that's a great question. Okay. Give me a second here. What does the spirit of business mean to me? To me, it means that we need to operate as our higher selves. We are here for a purpose. And when we connect to that purpose and actually create a business from it, we don't need to work a day in our life. That's fortunately where I am. I have a few different things going on, and I don't work a day in my life because I'm just living on purpose, and I'm living my global mission, and because I have a global vision of everybody living aligned and authentic and fully self-expressed. Yep. And living from their heart and soul, not their ego. And so my mission, how we get to that vision, is the Love Your Vibe transformation on the ground level. And I really want to share this with the world. So I have an amazing team of light worker leaders, people that have been to the dark, that have found the light. Now they want to help others, and they're using my system to help them do that. And by helping people get aligned and authentic and fully self-expressed, I am helping to create that world. And that is a world where we are living from spirit, not from ego. So if we can all do our business from that place of spirit, not ego, the world is going to be a better place.
Yeah, fantastic. That's exactly what, when I created this, that's one of the things I tried to.
Yay!
Absolutely.
Snaps for you, Jamie. Snaps for you.
Yes. So before we go, how can people find you if they want to get a hold of you or connect with you?
Sure. So like I said, I have a free teaching on my website, elvirahopper.com. Maybe you can put the link below. Yep. And all my social media is there if they want to reach out to me on social. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm on LinkedIn. I don't think I do much Twitter these days. I had a woman doing that for me, but I'm not sure she's on there these days. But yeah, they can reach out on social and or message me right from my website. I do what's called a miracle life breakthrough call. If anybody's interested in the possibility of working with me, they can spend 45 minutes with me to see if I'm a good fit for them. So I don't charge for that. If anyone's really serious, they can go on my website I think it's under inspiration to book a miracle life breakthrough call.
Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Thank you so much for your time. And I have to say, I love your vibe. I really do, and I can see why. I see why that has become part of your essence and what you do. Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure talking to you.
I love yours too, Jamie. Thank you for inviting me.
Okay.
My best to everyone.